S.F.A.R.
We back.
We're back.
I'm Brittany.
I'm Dialissa.
And you know where you at? Sisters from Another Mr. Podcast.
You heard?
Happy Friday. Well, we're recording this on a Friday.
Oh, Lord, you done told our business. Don't tell our business. But yes, it's Friday.
Right?
Friday.
Well, they'll get this on, a Sunday? So hopefully y'all having a good weekend.
Okay, yes, because clear it up now.
There we go.
So, today, we'll be talking about the foundation, I feel like. I want to call it the foundation of everything, maybe. What do you think?
Maybe.
The first step.
Yeah.
Yep. First step of everything. What do you think prevents you from doing things most times? What makes people not do things that they say they want to do?
I don't know. As I've gotten older, I just do things. I don't particularly like to hesitate. But little things, I feel like, and maybe as time has gone by, like when I was younger, probably I would hesitate on things and stuff like that. It's fear, I think. It's fear of something, right? Like fear of, like Gary Vee was talking about fear of what other people think of you.
Oh my God.
That's a big
For
one.
one, especially your parents.
Yeah. And I don't, well, yeah, or just even in general, your peers.
That's true.
That's a big one too. He always talks about with the parents, so he be going in.
Yeah, because I mean, when you think about it, especially as a child, you know, you have to bring home these good grades, and the ideal, especially back in the day before there was any such thing as entrepreneurship. Well, not that it wasn't out there, but
we weren't doing it.
Before
it was a thing for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So easily, the first thing that's being said is, "Oh, I gotta go take these SATs, and I better get my ass to college."
Yeah.
To be anything, to do anything.
Yeah. I think fear is a big part of it. Fear of something. Either it's your parents, either it's what your peers would think. Even like I remember being in school and like other kids wouldn't want to get a good grade because they didn't want the other kids to think they were too smart. They wanted to be with the cool kids, like stuff like that. Or maybe you just fearful of failing, or maybe you're just. Some people are fearful of succeeding. Some people are scared to succeed. Like
some people, you know what it is for me. I will say, we came up with this topic because I feel like we are on a road, like everybody's on the road to their own success, whatever that means, right? And I just feel like you get to a point in your life, or maybe many times you get to this point where you just feel like you need to do something different. You need to change it up, or whatever the case is, right? So I feel like that's where I'm at. I feel like Brittany is definitely on her way. She's in motion.
Yeah. I mean, like, okay, so the whatever episode it was that we talked about having kids, I think, like I said, that's probably the fear for me is having kids. That's like a thing in life that I'm scared to do that. And so it makes me hesitant and thinking even if I ever want them kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's probably the only thing. But as far as entrepreneurship, I tend to think differently, and I'm more the type of person to get like mad before I get sad, or like that type of way. So for me, it's like I'm working at a job and I don't like it. Forget this, I'm out.
Right.
I can do better by myself, kind of. That's just the way that I am. I don't know. Maybe that's my parents put that in me to just kind of like just say fuck it, like do it yourself then.
Man, and see the difference between me and I come from a West Indian. Well, we both come from a West Indian, but I'm Jamaican. My mother's Jamaicans, so they always have this running joke. Us Jamaicans, we got 100 jobs and we work from sun up to sundown. I just don't know anything different. Me and Brittany have both worked since we were 15 years old. Worked for somebody, 14 actually. Shit.
Yeah.
First job. Oh,
I used
Lord.
to be babysitting when I was like 13, 14.
No, that's real though. For real, that's true. Like every hustle. When I listen, because our parents are the parents that say, well, at least I will speak for my own. Like, yo, mommy, I want such and such, or daddy, I want such. You got a job? So I learned. Guess what? I'm not asking for anything anymore. I gotta go get me a job. I might have said this on a podcast before, but I don't know anything other than to work.
Right.
I'll hustle and grind. We both will hustle and grind till the freaking meat on our fingers is gone, Right. But I have just come to a point now where I just feel like you have to put more worth on your time. And it's so funny because, you get up every day, you go to whatever job, as far as me, and the hard thing about it is that it's not necessarily a field that I don't want to work in. It definitely is a field that I love. But I just feel like working for someone else's company and building their dream, I feel like I'm just being manipulated a little bit, a lot of it. I feel like I'm being hella manipulated, and I feel like I'm just being taken advantage of, because... Okay, so the other day I was listening to J. Cole's interview. I forget exactly where he did the interview. Mm-hmm. You've seen the interview.
Yeah.
Brittany's obviously seen it, but I had just recently seen it. I don't know how long it's been since he's done it. But he was talking about, like, how much worth do you put on your life? So, like, how much do you feel an hour of your life should be? Like, how much should it be worth? Right? Mm-hmm. And that really put into perspective for me, because not a lot of people are out here even making $15, like what they're trying to make the minimum wage be. Mm-hmm. Right? Some people aren't even making that. But even when you say, okay, for $15 an hour, do you feel like that is what your life is worth? And it may sound stupid, but in my mind, I was like, boom, like my brain almost exploded, because I was like, wow, yo, for real, because you only live this life once. Like, you can't take this shit back. I've been with my company for almost 7-8 years, something like that now. And that's not even the field, just the company I have been working with. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like, wow, I haven't always made what I make. And even then, it's just like, that hasn't changed drastically over the period of time. Mm-hmm. And I have had, my father always said, like, you got to count your commute. You got to, like, when you're doing stuff and you're negotiating price, you got to account for that. But that's great, and you know it. But most times you're not. You're going to take that job and work whatever they tell you to do. And I just have felt like I've gotten to a point where, you do your annual, your JPA, or job performance appraisal, as they call it, or whatever, where they, do your evaluation and they give you your little raise. And at my job, I was just like, man, you sit down and you think about all these things. And it's like, okay, they'll give you like 2-3%, tell you, that's the highest percent we do. So you're getting like 3%. You're getting 3% on fucking what, though? Like, 3% on what?
Right.
What is the dollar amount of that? And when you really break it down, it's not very much. It's like a few cents.
Right.
Like, that's pathetic.
So it's not even the dollar amount. It's like, what's the sense on that?
Yeah. And does it fucking make sense? No, motherfucker. It doesn't make sense at this point to me. It's just very heartbreaking, because it's like, wow, you do this and you love it and you go to work, and I love my kids. I love them. Brittany, she probably made fun of me after we got off the phone, but I literally cried about one of my kids going off to school.
Oh, and, I'm used to that now. I don't make
like, I am dead ass serious about my kids. Like, they're not even my kids, but I take care of these kids all day long, and I'm very passionate about what I do. Like, I really enjoy what I do, but to work under someone else, and I feel degraded,
Yeah.
I just feel like, these people that are above you, and you're really doing all the work. Like, when corporate comes and they're checking out, what you're doing and making sure shit is being implemented right, I feel like a fucking puppet. For real. I feel like a puppet. I was talking to my coworkers today about it, and I was just like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what they fucking do. If we fuck up, or if we do right, if we do good, we're not the ones that are going to get praised, but we sure as hell are going to get punished.
Oh, yeah.
I
remember, when I was working at this litigation support firm in D.C., and they had, the corporate office come, and we typically could wear sneakers because my job, we be moving all the time. Mm-hmm. And then they were like, yeah, when they come, make sure you have on appropriate attire. And I'm like, yo, isn't appropriate attire whatever gets me the job done? Yeah. Whatever I have to wear to get the job done. I still will wear, business casual, a nice sweater and a dress or dressy pants and a button-up shirt. But I always had on sneakers, and it was never a problem. But when the corporate came, it's let's put on this show. When you said a puppet, I remember. I said, this is so stupid. No, first of all, y'all up in here pretending for the corporate office, but if they're here, they know that there's trouble. Jeez.
Right, exactly.
Y'all acting like this is a fake. This is so fake. And I remember hating every second of it. Oh, yeah. You had to take your lunch and shit. But when I eat at my desk any other day, y'all be like, oh, good, get the job done. Now it's we want it to look like you could get your job done and take a nice lunch break. That ain't gonna work. I gotta work and type at the same time. Stop playing. No. But they would be it was all of these things. They were make sure you do this, make sure you do that. I should have put on a big wig with an afro and been wearing all black with a pump in my fist. It really made them people upset. Oh, I was God. I hated that feeling. You feel like somebody seriously got their hand and controlling you like some type of ventriloquist. Yeah. Or you got strings on your arm and they the puppet master.
No, absolutely.
That's the worst.
And see what makes it worse too, when in my job, we're obviously we're in classrooms, and my classroom is one of the classrooms that's really showcased. The windows are big and different on my side because all the other classrooms are on the other side of the building, so they have the window. Uh-huh. So who the hell's looking from the window? Obviously, it's too high for anybody to look into the window. But on my side, there is no windows that face outside, so I have the window that faces the hallway. So I always call my classroom the zoo. The zoo. We feel like we're the zoo because tours come by, corporate comes by and they'll look outside and their arms across and they're just watching and smiling, and it's just you gotta smile back, say hi friends, and do all this weird shit. Yeah, I should
go beat on the glass.
Do.
I scare them. Booga booga. This is a classroom with children. What you think? Come on.
Oh my God.
It's so unrealistic.
It is. It's so funny because corporate was actually at my job all week this week. All week. And
and that's how you know that they know something isn't
Oh yeah,
right.
absolutely. It's a ton. That's for another day though. But anyway, because I was definitely going to get in that. That would have been here all day. But nonetheless, corporate was there all week sun up to sundown down. It was a freaking show. And you know me, I hate critique. I gotta do better with being critiqued, but especially when it's something that I'm fucking passionate about and I'm doing and I'm taking care of day in and day out. Don't come and try to pretend now.
That was me.
Okay? I hate that shit. So you coming in and you just questioning me as if I don't know my job. Nigga, this building hasn't burnt down yet. So I think we're doing swell. At least me, I'm doing what I can do.
Right.
Right. Go check out admin. And that's where you need to go check. Not us. The hell? But,
yeah.
But yeah, it was really hard. And then what's so funny is that today corporate was not there. Corporate wasn't there. And today it was they dropped all the fucking balls. This morning, first of all, I get in. There were numerous call-outs. I had about 40 friggin' kids in the media lab. First of all, we're a child care center. What am I doing with these kids in the media center? And we have to watch shows because at this point we're supposed to be eating breakfast, classes to go on, and we're supposed to be having lessons. It's after 9:00. We're supposed to have eaten at 8:15, around 8:30, and the kids are still in the freaking media lab watching movies and shit. So that because we have barely any staff, admin isn't here, like, y'all are salary. So if people are out, you need to come on. Like, this is your business.
Right.
But it's really not, I guess. So that's why you feel that way. I don't know. But at this point, I'm just really sick of it, because it's like, they're not necessarily the owners of the company at all. They are just here carrying along the business name for whoever's above them. But I just feel like, I'm at the bottom of the freaking totem pole, and I'm doing the most work for all of that. I could go do that shit my damn self, because really and truly, let's be real here, the parents, they see us, they know us, and they love us. So why can't I just go fucking do it? And that's what has been the ongoing freaking saga, is to freaking start a business and do my own thing.
Do it.
But yet again, you know me, I have the worst, like, okay, let me not be like that, because, it could be worse, I guess. People have worse anxiety, I guess. But that shit just really kills me. Like, literally pulls me down. And I'm so fearful of everything. But I think it also doesn't help that I come from a household where, like, my parents, aren't from America. They're, they immigrated here to the States. And they live this thing where it's like, do everything the right way, quote unquote, and, do shit by the book and whatever. And so, like, when you would come with, what they would call unorthodox, with a certain unorthodox type of idea, it's like, oh, no, you got to go to school. You got to do stuff the right way. You got to work. You got to have money. You got to have shit together before you can even think about doing anything.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's actually a lot of West Indian people.
Or maybe even foreign.
Maybe even foreign. I'm not very familiar with that. But I do know that's the case with a lot of West Indian people. It's like, listen, we're here. Just keep your head down and do what you got to do. And do it the right way. Quote, right way is whatever they think or whatever they've been told is the right way. And I think it's a lot of it is like, and this is probably where Jamaicans get that stereotype, like they always have to work a bunch of jobs, because it's like, for them the right way is to work hard, but they're not working smart. Like, you work hard at 3 different jobs, but if you had one good business, then maybe you could make 5 jobs worth of income and not have to do that. Maybe if you invested a little here, and they don't think necessarily about stuff like that. They just like, work hard. If you're not working hard, then you're not doing it right, kind of thing. Right. And my mom was not like first generation like your parents. My grandmother was, and my grandfather, and then my father's side, they're American, so we didn't have that cultural, I don't even know what that is. That mentality, I guess. Yeah. And so I didn't really get raised with that. My mom was just kind of like, okay, maybe my grandmother was like that. I'm not sure. I'd have to ask her, but my mom wasn't like that. She was like, she been here, she's seen how it works, and she's like, nah, you could do different things. Like, you could try this, do that. And then my mother is just like very big on happiness. Like, if you're not happy, she don't even know what you're doing it for. She's just big on that, because life is too short. And my father is just, he was like, we gonna either like it here or quit. Like, he was saying it in a minute. Just quit.
He used to tell me that.
Just quit. I remember when we worked at Sears, and he came and you was looking down, and he came and he said, she's leaving with me. And your manager, I was like, yo, what is going on? He was supposed to, first of all, he was supposed to wait outside. Okay, I'm coming. He was there to pick me up for work. I'm on my way. He comes strutting inside. Hey, Britt, what you doing? Like, I'm coming, Dad. And then he seen, I'll be right back. We're going to talk to you. He saw your face.
Girl, I was a big manipulator, too. I kind of already knew he was going to act a fool. So I was like, because I had asked my boss prior to him coming up. But you did
ask her prior, and she was acting like,
nah, we ain't got nobody. Suck it up.
That's how they would treat us.
Ring these fucking people up and get some credit card applications.
All y'all teenagers just do what I say, and they were very intimidating. They used to try to be very, very intimidating. And my father knew that, because when I would come home, I would be bitching and complaining about them to my parents. So he knew, like, they had that about them. And when he saw it, he was like, nah, that she come home with me. She looked like, you her father.
She did that.
She's like, is that your father? No, but mind your business, because you ain't about to say nothing. And you sure did leave, and he dropped you home, and that was on that.
I was happy and skipping home.
My father did not play them kind of games. I remember being in DC, and if my job did something, and you just call the vent. Mm-hmm. No, he would be like, "What happened? Just quit that job. Fuck that job. You don't need that. You don't need that." Matter of fact, I'm like, well, I gotta pay my rent.
Yeah, rent is due.
What do you mean? I need that money. Actually, I do need that money. Fuck that. How much your rent? I'll pay your rent. What the hell?
I won't pay my rent.
I was like, yo, what are we doing right now? But so I never had that. Between my mother saying you gotta do what makes you happy, and my father always kind of just being like, he was an entrepreneur. He had his own businesses from as far back as I can remember. He had businesses fixing cars. He had all types of patents, inventions of things, like utility patents. He had always kind of, did his own thing. He followed his own path and was in his own lane. So I just kind of had that mentality growing up. Mm-hmm. And I think it's different when your parents are like, at least in the Caribbean, that mentality is strong. Mm-hmm. A lot of people I know are like that and have said that their parents are like that.
And you know what it is too? I think like, maybe I'm wrong when I say this, but I also feel like when you're in the, West Indies, back home, as they would say, like you don't really want for anything. You're not really into fashion. There's no style. There's no what do you would call it? Like status?
Yeah.
Nothing like that. And I wonder if that has something to do with it. Because like even as we were sitting here and I was thinking about your father, like yes, he was an entrepreneur. Absolutely. And I felt like he was a great one. I felt like he lived the life that even J. Cole was talking about. Like going back to that interview that we were talking about. Mm-hmm. In that interview, J. Cole was saying that he had to learn within his career that you can't always worry about like the advancing to the next dollar amount. It's not always about that. It is about not being obviously a slave and knowing what's important, Like for me, I get frustrated because I'm always at work, right? And I'm missing time with my family, my friends, and shit like that, right? But I'm always chasing this damn dollar, right? Mm-hmm. But then it's like, I'm not saying we shouldn't have nice things. I feel like you definitely should be able to, live a comfortable life. Mm-hmm. But like he said, like sometimes when you're chasing the dollar and you're going after a job and you're chasing just the dollar, it's like you're never going to be satisfied because you're always going to want more. Yeah. Once you get to another level, you're going to want to get to that next level, and it's going to require more and more and more, and then you're just never going to be happy.
And there's always something new coming out.
There's always something new. So it's like just to know what's important and to be appreciative of where you're at and work with what you have and, be more kind to yourself and also take your time. And I feel like that's my thing. Yeah. I really need to take my time and to, because a lot of the things I'll buy, not for nothing. I mean, this kind of, I don't know if this has any correlation, but I feel like I'll buy things and I'm like, I don't even get to enjoy that shit. Like, I literally have maybe like 50 pairs of sneakers, literally, and shoes. And it's like, I don't even get to wear them shits. Mm-hmm. They are literally collecting dust. I'd be mad when I get them messy or whatever because it's just like, I had to work for them. But you're not fucking wearing them shit.
Get to wear them.
You're not even enjoying them. So what are we doing? Mm. Like, it's just like a trinket. We have a museum,
Yeah. No, I think you're right. My father was like that.
That nigga didn't give a shit, okay?
He would tell me one time, like, I'm not the richest person. Like, when I say my father was an entrepreneur, he wasn't like, balling out of control. That I still came from a low income family and
humble. Excuse you.
It was still low income, humble nonetheless. I was very, very happy growing up. Oh yeah. And for the longest time, didn't even know we were. I was like, really? Look at us. It was like, wow. How about that? Because what we had, it was celebrated. Mm-hmm. Like it was just us.
It should be.
And it was very celebrated, like everything. We was just happy to have that. And my father enjoyed, he enjoyed the time he got. He was like, okay. And he used to say it too. I like working for myself because before I couldn't I couldn't like turn down a job. But now if one of his clients would call him on a Sunday, and me and him, I vividly remember, we was watching cartoons, and he was like, you know, if I had to work for somebody else, I'd have to leave you here. But I'm just going to tell them that I'm with my daughter. We're watching cartoons. So I'll see you on Monday. And that was that. And he just answered the phone. He didn't even answer. He just texted him back. I think he had me text him back, actually, because he wasn't really good at texting. But anyway, he was like, yeah, tell him this. I texted back, and we just kept on watching shows and chilling out and enjoying our Sunday fun day kind of thing. But I feel like it's about perspective. Mm-hmm. You got to know what it is that you really want, because
what's more important,
right? What's important to you? And for my father, I know it was like family, and his free time was very important. Like his free time was so important to him,
right?
Because from with that, he could do with it what he wanted. He could be with family, he could be by himself, he could go see his friends, he could do whatever, and that was very important. I feel like that's how I be thinking. Like when I'm at a job and I'm like, my time is so important.
Yeah, man.
It's so important. So then when I have to be at a job and I'm like, yo, this is stupid. Because I used to think about stuff like that all the time. I remember like when you said about commuting and stuff like that, I used to think about that all the time, because when we lived together, I had the longest commute. You worked not too far. Krista didn't work too far. When you start working with the company you're at now.
Yeah, because at one point it was like 2 hour commute.
Yeah, no, but you didn't stay there that long, because I was like, girl, you can't do that. But y'all both worked closer to the house, and I worked downtown in DC, and I remember thinking, this sucks. And I hated it, because it'd be like, yeah, I ain't gotta be at work till 9, but here I am, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Why I gotta be awake?
No, for real. And I remember
that used to be so irritating.
When you're trying to make up, like, not for nothing. It wasn't necessarily an excuse, but we were like, well, at least it's in DC. You know, we were saying that. Like, because it was at least one friggin' thing. Right. But aside, I didn't get to fucking enjoy it because I was at work. Like, I would go to work. It's dark. I would leave, and it's dark depending on the season. You know, so
no, it's not. It was. And I remember we used to have to work on the weekends. Like, we had a rotation thing at my job. Anywho, when it was your turn, you have to work on the weekends possibly, and I did a few times. And I had to log in that overtime, and the lady in accounting, she told me, listen, right when they first like introduced this whole rotation thing, she was like, listen, when they call you, or if you in the seat and they call you, you make sure you put down from the moment your alarm goes off, because your time is valuable.
No, for real.
And I was like, you could do that? She said, yeah, if they're going to start trying to make y'all do stuff like that, y'all are hourly. It's not right what they're doing to y'all over here. And she was in accounting, so she was salary. She said, and I promise you, I'm approving the time, so I will approve it. She said, from the moment you have to set your alarm to wake up, and you know on a Saturday you will not be getting up that early, you put that in. She said, the ride on the train, the ride home. She said, if you buy yourself lunch, and if you go out to dinner, she said, even if you need a drink afterwards, you put that down, and I'm going to say, I don't care, I approve it. And she did. She never questioned it. She was the best. And that was like one of the first times, but it kind of like got reinforced for me at that moment. Like how you said, it was like, boom, when you see J. Cole, I was like, yo, she's right. My time is so valuable.
We spend it like it's water. Like I spend it sometimes. Like I have to realize, even when I have to do better, not only with money management, but like time management, and being more and like I said, putting more value on myself. Time. Because how many times are we talking like, damn, yo, time is just flying by. I legit have kids that I have taught when I first got to this center in Georgia, and like, I remember when they didn't even have siblings. Their siblings didn't even exist. And I'm a 2-year-old teacher. So now I have kids that never existed. And they're in my class, and I took care of their older siblings.
That's so crazy.
Like, and it's so crazy because the time just flies. I'm like, yo, when their parents are coming, like, yeah, they're coming to your class. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's that time already. Time is literally flying. Yep. I'm at the point where I don't know what day it is, nothing. Like, time is just rolling. And I just feel like we're coming upon a new year. You know, it's just very scary to me. So I'm not going to lie. As of recently, not even recent, like, wow, at least, I don't know how long. You know, I feel like it's always a life journey to bettering yourself and betterment to, you know, do the best you can figure out your life. But I don't know exactly how long I've been talking about entrepreneurship. But I feel like this year, maybe you would say, I feel like is when I've been like really... Well, no, when I turned 30, maybe. I don't know.
When you turned 30, it was like a whole new D.
It was like a midlife crisis. It was like a whole new D.
Dialissa, excuse me.
I just felt like, yo, I'm running out of time.
Yeah.
It's what
you
it
said
feels
that.
like. Yeah, it feels like that. It feels like, whoa, like you just kind of been living life and you're not really doing what you're supposed to be doing. You're just kind of letting life live you. Like, that's not good, you know? So I started like thinking about the entrepreneurship and just like, I don't know if I want to keep working for people like for all of that. If I'm doing majority of the work, getting this little bit of pay, I might as well work for my damn self.
Right.
And, you know, like starting to look into the things that I, you know, am good at, where there's talent. You know, I feel like I'm really great with kids. I love kids. That's like number one for me. Really good with, you know, a lot of things. There's all kinds of things. Everybody has their thing, you know? And I feel like the first step is to really figure out what it is that you... I heard someone say one time, you gotta think about something that you would not mind doing for the rest of your life without getting paid. And then that's how you know, like, oh, yeah, that's what I need to be doing. I can watch people kids. There's plenty of times where, like, I want to tell my parents sometimes, like, for nannying gigs, like, or, you know, I go out and watch the kids for the evening. Oh, you don't even have to pay me. Because, like, I literally love it. Like some days I'm like, yo, I'm tired. Like, I'm human, of course. But then there's times where I'm like, man, yo, I love it. Like, this is like my kid. I feel like I'm stealing from you by taking your money because I enjoy what I do. You know? Even, like, when people offer to pay me if I do makeup. You know, I just feel like, what? Like, I really got to, like, color your face. I have never charged anybody.
You always say that.
I feel like I'm being disrespectful whenever anybody asks me that. So maybe I should have charged, but I didn't because I just feel like, nigga, what? For me to call your face? Like, I had fun doing that.
Yeah,
you know?
you say that. You used to say that. You used to be like, oh, I love it. It's so fun.
Like, yo, it's such a relaxing thing. Like, I get in
really
zone.
likes that.
And what else? It was something else. Well, oh yeah, and I've also been thinking about real estate. But I just feel like that's just something I kind of want to get into because I feel like if you're rich, if you got any money out here, you're definitely in real estate. Period. So I feel like that's just another avenue. I don't know what else is out there that I'm into. Everybody has a ton of different things that they are good at, that they're interested in,
yeah, that you're passionate about.
You know. And I feel like we just, you know, at millennials, we've been doing really well. We've been doing really good with that. I feel like. Yeah. There are some of us though that it takes a little bit more work because of the fear. For me, I'm talking for the people who feel like me. I am very fearful of the unknown. Like, I don't know anything different than to go out and work for every dollar, and it got to be hard, sweat, blood, and tears work for this dollar. Like, thank you, master. You know, kind of feeling like I gotta go out there and work. I can't just go take money, you know. And not even just that. Just like, I don't even know if that'll work. That seems like a trick, you know. For me, that's how it feels. You know, but there's just so much you can do out here. There's just so much. Like, even the story of the struggle, people pay for your story. Yeah. You know, it's crazy. It's mind-blowing. Like, I was even telling Brittany the other day that I was watching something and they were talking about, like, in this day and age, like, people are hiring coaches. Like, you might want to do something, but listen, we all don't have the time to figure that shit out and Google it ourselves. You can, because you can Google anything. You can YouTube anything. But sometimes we don't have the time to figure it out, because let's be real here. Everybody, even on YouTube or whatever not going to maybe give you everything. You're not going to know every little in and out of whatever it is that you're trying to figure out. So you're going to have to do way more research. So it might just be easier to hire a coach that can help you, and it might be even more efficient. It might be more affordable to just go ahead and hire someone.
I mean, and also I think where the coaches come into play, where I could see them being useful, is because it's like they are going to know your particular business and your particular plan, like, they can really hone in on what you trying to do. Because sometimes you could look up stuff online and it's hard to find it exactly or with the different nuances that you have going on.
Or like even to just know why it's done that way. Like, for example, I'll speak for myself. I have hired a couple of online trainers. This has nothing to do with necessarily a business, but like an online trainer. Or even I've even hired a physical trainer, someone who's physically there when I'm working out. At the end of the day, I could look up workouts on Instagram. I could look up workouts on Pinterest, and that's all great, and they're very useful. They're great, awesome. But sometimes you might even feel curious, like, yo, is there anything else that I should be doing? Okay, I'm not really getting the nutrition, or maybe it's out there, but I don't know what I should put together for my own body type or what's going to work for me, like you said. So you hire these online trainers to do that work for you so that, you could get a quicker jump. Because for all that, you could be researching, you could be free and losing your weight, Like all this searching you're doing, you could be starting your friggin' business,
Right.
So sometimes it just pays to just kind of like just get it done in that way. Because for people like me, my excuse is like, damn, yo, I don't have any time because I'm always at work. You're worrying about money. You're worrying about, like, damn, I gotta, it's just a lot to do, like, in the day. And you have to do everything you're already doing. And to add something new, that's just a lot,
Yeah.
And then to even put forth the effort to do all that research and still have that fear behind it, like, oh, that shit's not gonna work. Like, what's the outcome gonna be?
Right. No, I mean, I think people will pay you for a lot of stuff. I remember my mom, one of her very good friends, she had HIV, and she would get paid she was a speaker and an advocate. That was her job title. And she would get paid to, like, tell her story about how she contracted it, how she was coping with it, different things she had to deal with, like depression, all these other things. She had kids, how she had to deal with all that. And they would, like, different companies would fly her all over the U.S. to tell her story. Like, she was in... Like, we were in New York at that time. She was in California, like, speaking. People will pay you for things you would never imagine. Like, who would think, I got HIV, and then all of a sudden it's something that people want to hear about? Right. What? That's
I think
crazy.
we tend to do this thing where we think that we're in shit alone, maybe, and that nobody else could maybe go through it, or maybe they are going through it, but they're not going through it anything like I am,
Right.
But that's just impossible. Right. There's so many people on this earth that are going through very similar things.
Yes, and people would like to hear it, and that's how that's why they will pay you to hear it. They will pay a business coach because they're like, you did it. How'd you do it? Tell me what I need to do. You have HIV. You're still thriving. You seem happy. How do I be happy? And, like, people want to know. That's how a lot of, like, go back again to Gary Vee. He always, like, people want to know, what do you have to think about this? What do you have to think about that? Like, they want to know that because you do feel so, like, alone. And maybe that's a part of the fear. I don't know. Maybe it, like, complements each other. Like, you feel alone. You feel scared at the same time. I don't know.
Listen, and all in all, you telling us, like, these people telling their story, you telling your story, this story getting out, you never know how much people you might be saving. Whether it's, like, literally saving their lives or literally just, like, saving them from, the fear or whatever. So, like,
and I just loneliness.
think... And I mean, I'm talking about this, and I just, like, to let people know, like, I am legit in the same boat. I'm on the boat. I'm talking, again, when we have these podcasts, a lot of times, I'm, like, talking to my damn self. Talking to my damn self, because I'm very, very fearful. Like, Brittany, boy, she has to stay on top of me. My own boss, the little boy that I'm 94, his mom stays on top of me because they're entrepreneurs as well. Great. I am so blessed because I'm around people who are legit doing it.
Wait a minute. She's your boss, or is she one of your clients?
Oh, she's one of my clients.
Because you're your own boss when you're doing that.
I am not used to saying shit like that. I'm used to having a boss. Yeah. But yeah, she's my client.
One of your many clients.
She's one of my many clients.
Exactly. All of these families who you provide them a service that they pay for.
Clients.
Yes, they're
It's
clients.
so weird, but nonetheless. Yes, but she's an entrepreneur. Both her and her husband are entrepreneurs for years and years, very successful. And again, that's another thing too, is like that whole stigma of like, oh, they're entrepreneurs, they must have a ton of money because they can pay me and do whatever. They live comfortable. I'm not gonna say they're not people out here frivolously acting a fool and can buy all kinds of stuff and whatever. They buy what they want, what they want sometimes and what they need. But I feel like, again, they just, have that great balance. But I'm definitely blessed in that fact that I can be around. Like, even with you. Like, you're at home working from home. Like, that's crazy.
And that's the thing, too, is like, I think it's about perspective. Like how you said, you may look at them and people could look at them, not you. People could look at them and think, oh, they got it all. But it's about what they consider having it all and what's important to them. Like, okay, yeah, we feel like we have it all. Yeah. Maybe somebody else could look at them and say, Jay-Z and Beyonce be like, she ain't got nothing. Who knows? Because if we're looking at dollars, I don't know.
Right. It's all relative.
And sometimes you got to stop counting people's money and also don't assume their happiness because of the things that they have. You never know what that means for people.
And what they think is important.
Yeah.
Because people even my own boyfriend or whatever, he'll hear, man, the fact that they can pay you that much a week. Yeah, but that is their one child. That's their one child. And honestly, to even go further, we don't know. A lot of people don't even know what they went through to have that little boy.
Exactly.
So that is their everything. I have been there 2 years in. So I've been with him for 4 years. So majority of his life at this point. So I know, what they had to go through. Not only what they had to go through with him, but even she almost lost her life. So until you get that, and mind you, I didn't get that backstory until this summer when when it was her birthday. I never ever knew anything about what was going on. I've been working with them for 4 years, but through those years I've been working with them, you learn certain things, and then you're like, yo, man, you gain a real perspective. You don't have to know everybody's business,
right,
to know their plight and their struggle and what they're going through. At the end of the day, what they went through with their son was mind-boggling. I couldn't imagine, and I would do the same thing. Like little man has a big catered celebration of life, and they said we're gonna do that for the first 5 years. He's 6 though, and he had yet another one this year. They celebrate his birthday like it's his last birthday, and I understand it because he was not even supposed to be here. So from people that's from the outside, all those some of those other kids that come to the parties and they're like, yo, not me. You don't know.
Never know.
You don't know someone's struggle, and so that's why just with anything, someone becomes successful and they have a business, and maybe you knew them from around the way, but they're in a different situation and they're bettering themselves and they're in their journey.
Right.
You can't think because I'm not gonna lie, we all have that human nature. It's human nature to be like, man, I wish, certain things like that. But
I've heard that before said to me, and people are like, oh man, I wish I could just stay home all day.
I'm not gonna lie, I probably was one of them people.
And I've been thinking to myself, and I'm like, me too. I wish I could just stay home all day and relax. I don't get to do that.
No, I don't care.
I actually get to stay home and work really, really hard, a lot on everything. People don't understand that, and people say stuff like that, and I'm like, that's cute. Me too. I wish I could stay home all day. And I feel like also people don't understand is what that means. That means that James is the provider for this household. I am given an opportunity to stay home, but not everybody has that. So there's some people who they have to go to work and they have to contribute and they got to be doing all this stuff. I've been given an opportunity where I could okay, but I could be home and start this business, and in the beginning, I ain't making nothing, but that's okay. That's okay. Because, woosah, we going to get it together after that. But in the beginning, it is like that. So it's you could just never tell what people have going on. You never, ever know what that actually looks like.
Because think about it. That is a real, to be you, that would be hard for me, because I feel and we come from we did the same shit. We worked at the same jobs. We basically worked Betty to Betty for years. We went to the same places. But that's a lot, yo. Because you're
It
getting
took
married
a
to
lot
someone,
on-
right?
It took a lot of.
Or just in general, even if you're getting married, right? Regardless, you're with somebody, and you have to trust that they are going to take care of you and them. Like,
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It is a lot.
Coming from a person who's worked from so young.
Right. Like, I've always been very, very independent.
Mm-hmm.
And I always did everything by myself.
Yeah, man.
And I remember, like, yeah, I remember me and James, like, I've been talking. He's like, yo, what do you, like, relax. It's okay. I promise I got you.
Yo.
And that, even then, I was like, but what if? Like, not that something could happen between us, but what if something happened to you? What if anything happens? Like, and then now, what if there's another element thrown into the mess? And then what? Then what? And, you know, anything could happen. Your company you work at could, like, burn to the ground, and then that's it. That was our job. Like, what the hell? Like, you just never ever know. And so that is a lot. First of all, it's a lot to, like, completely change up your whole self. Okay, and not working was a big deal for me. Well, see, but that's the thing. I had to change my mentality because it wasn't that I wasn't working. I wasn't used to working for. I was working at a company. I was used to working and clocking in, and, you know,
getting
that type
paycheck
of thing.
every.
Yeah, like, I had to realize that, you know what, it's okay to not work hard. Just start working smarter, Brittany. And that was a really, really big thing for me. Like, I had to stop, relax, take it easy, and, like, okay, take advantage of this opportunity. Right now, you can start your own business. Not a lot of people can do that. Like how you were saying, like, people, they fighting for, you know, minimum wage. Some people, that is, like, their only option. So I gotta count my blessings.
No, but you also
say,
have to
okay,
think of it as, like, too, like, you are, I mean, maybe James is not, but I would say you also have to think, like, at the end of the day, James is depending on you to make this shit happen.
Yeah, it has to work. No, it actually has to work. There's no other option.
So, I mean, that's a lot of pressure.
That is a lot. That's a lot of pressure.
No, and, like, even now that we're talking about that, King even said, like, he, you know, I talked to him, we talked as a couple, you know, I was like, man, I'm tired of working all these jobs, like, 3 days out the week, I'm out the house for how many hours? I leave from 6 o'clock in the morning, I don't get back till sometimes damn near midnight or midnight, you know, and I feel like he was, you know, starting to think about it, and he even said to me, he was like, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and get a second job. I'm going to start working on getting a second job so that you could quit one of the jobs. And just what I need you to save X amount of money, and then, we'll, you know, reinvest whatever money, and instead of using what I need, but it's hard. Like, that's a hard thing for me.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to take your money and do what for my business, you know? And it's a little bit hard because I'm also not married, you know? And regardless, I think even if we were married, it still would be the same for me. It would still be hard. I'm just saying that as, like, oh, by the way. But it's no different. I don't care if we were married or not. I don't know any different. I don't know any different. Even when it came to my parents. And even when it came... Your parents, it was a little bit different. My parents... is a little bit different. I feel like I couldn't listen. I love my parents to death, but nigga, you better take care of your damn self. Period. And for you, I feel like you just have no other choice. If you want certain things, you have to get it yourself, right? And yes, they'll help you if they can, but you knew your situation.
My parents,
so it's like, why would I burden them if I need to try to figure it out? That was our mentality, right? So if I've been like that forever, you know I can't necessarily depend on my parents for monetarily. You know, nothing. Not saying nothing bad, but for real. And so, if I can't even do that with them, what the hell you mean? I got to come out here and work. I can't not work and pay for my own shit. You know.
Yeah, I mean.
But yeah, I just feel like when he said that, I was like, whoa, you know. So like to start, like people are giving me the opportunity. I have Brittany, she's doing it, whatever, and you guys give me the most information all the time, free info fucking nation. I'm not even have to pay for it, but it's great. But it's just like it's like you're asking me to jump off of a ledge, and I'm scared as shit. Scared as shit. There'd be some days, there'd be a whole week, every day. I'm like, yo, should I come back on my lunch break? Cause I just feel like jumping on the motherfucking highway and getting up out of here. Cause Brittany and James and Kim. They say I don't have to do this, so I can just really get on the highway and go. Like I literally, and some people are out here. They have it way harder because they have to start all the way from scratch. Like for real, not even for you. It's not even like yes, you have James, but I have Keem, and it's not even like to say you have something else. I literally can be like, yo, they could say no. but I'm pretty sure they won't. I could ask them for another day or two and make up some of the money. But I'm just scared, you know?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of research. Because first of all, I just don't have much time in the day. Like, I'm trying to do my job to the fullest because I don't know any better. I can't slack. I have people, it's not like some paperwork I'm pushing. Like, I have little people and families that are very dependent on me to get them information, to care for their little one. And that's just what I want to do, right? So I just don't have the time. Like, sometimes I used to say, man, sometimes I'm just going to quit, stop doing what they would need me to do and do my own shit. But that's not realistic because it's like, you're asking me to slack, and I just feel like, it's the same field I want to be in. So I really need to be able to stay,
Right.
I need to be able to do it all, I feel,
Right.
It's good practice, and it's just, I don't do business like that, period. I'm going to do my shit, whether it's my company or not, right. So I just don't have the extra time to really do the research and to, like, even think about the next step or to... it's just a lot. And just in general, it's fear. Even if I had all the keys, you're asking me to jump, and I don't think I can.
Listen, like you just said, you don't actually have it that bad. Like I was saying, people, they can only work at these minimum wage jobs that they still fighting to get raised to only $15. Let's be real here. That's still, I don't think, enough. But fine, you don't even have to do that. You still have other options. You have other income. Even you, like you just said, I'm just not going to find another job. I'm going to start my own business. That's a big deal, bitch. You ain't got no other income. I mean, like you said, I got James, so even I can complain. I'm not going to complain.
Right. But then
I'm grateful.
Yeah.
But it's still, you still have your own income.
Right.
It's not really jumping. It's just like taking a little hop.
Oh, man. And you know what it is, too? It's like, I feel like what these jobs do, right, is you're with them for a certain amount of time. They'll call things like tenure. Or just like in general, you have a certain amount of years under your belt or time under your belt. And they know what to say. They know what to do to, like, manipulate you, to, like, give you this little bit of raise. But yet still they're tacking on someone else's whole job.
Yeah.
Without paying you that other person's job. That shit is wild. You will lose fucking people. And they will not hire back these motherfucking people. But they will give you that fucking work.
Yes.
That's wild. And they're doing that shit everywhere. They're not doing it with me.
No.
And mind you, they're doing that with me. They're doing that with Keem. And they did that with Show Ass. And we all work in different fields.
I remember when a coworker of mine, he took a promotion and he found paperwork from the previous manager, and she had written up reports on how to save money. And her way to save money was to not hire people, to replace people who had quit. She was going to double up on our work. She talked about how she could give these bare minimum raises in this report that he found. She talked about how, certain people had threatened to quit and said that they were unhappy, and how she had told these people certain things to make them, to pacify them, to make them feel better about it, and how she thought that it had worked, and she was going to update the report further. Like, it was a whole bunch of shit she said in this report that he found. And he was like, could you believe how she was taking, like, she was out here scheming on us. And he felt it too, because that was her boss, that was his boss at one time too. And I was like, yo, I'm not surprised, because she would make all types of empty promises, like, oh, we're gonna have this and we're gonna do this for the company and the company's gonna do this and this, and none of it ever happened, and she ain't really complained. So I knew, like, after a while, I said, yo, she's in on it. She have to be, because why isn't she upset too? If they supposed to be doing all of this stuff for us and it's gonna cost money, she don't care, because she's the one that they delegated to write up a report on how to cut back on the money. Right. These people, after I read that...
The more money they save, the more bonus they get.
After I read that, I was like, this is why I would never, ever give any job my 100% because it ain't my name on the door.
No,
and
that's
that's when I thought about my father, and I was like, yo, he's doing the right thing. Maybe it ain't easy, and it's like a lot of work to have your own business. It's yours. But his name is on those business cards, on those flyers. It was him. So it's like, yo, he's doing the right thing. And I always kind of knew that I would never work for ever, like at a 9-to-5, because of like the way I was raised. Besides the fact that my mother always said do something that makes you happy, and none of that shit made me happy. And then after those type of experiences, like having that experience and reading those reports, it was like a 4-page document. That's wild. And he only showed it to me because me and him was really cool. And when he took the promotion, he was like, yo, I can only tell this to you, and you can never tell nobody else who we work with at the time. But after seeing stuff like that, it changed my whole mentality. So I knew, like, okay, I gotta just kind of set myself up to not have to do this. And then things kind of happen, and now it's kind of like, well, now is the time, so I have to take advantage. And that's why I think it's like, okay, I might be scared that it will fail, because it's always a possibility. Like, nobody's business is guaranteed, but I gotta try it.
At least you know.
I gotta try it, because I would always wonder, what if I would have tried that business idea? What if I would always be wondering. So I gotta at least try. And I would beat myself up if I didn't take advantage of this current moment in time. Like, okay, now is the time where it's okay. We could afford it. I got James. We could do this together. We're good. Yeah, I need to take advantage. If I didn't, and then something changed, and then it's like, okay, now guess what? Now you gotta go find that 9-to-5. I've been pissed at myself. So I feel like you gotta do it.
We have to understand is like, even that in itself is not bad, because it doesn't mean that you'd be homeless. It doesn't mean that you'd be on the street.
No, of course.
So it's like, even that is a blessing in itself. And
that's the same thing for you.
That's what I'm saying. That's
why I say it. Yeah.
Okay, jump out the window now while you don't have any kids and shit. Because that's a big thing.
Because you're only jumping from the first floor. It ain't like you're jumping from the 10th floor. You're going to really hurt yourself.
Because if it all, like Keem told me that, and you've told me that, like, you just listen. If all else fails, you just go back to work. Don't leave your job. That's why you don't burn your bridges. So, leave on good terms. And then if it doesn't work out, then you go back. It's just, so hard to let go. It's so hard.
Yeah,
but
listen. McDonald's is always hiring. I don't care. Even if you did burn your bridges, y'all, you could start over.
And you know what?
Because even McDonald's hires managers, and then they get promoted to regional manager.
Right.
My aunt, she worked in retail, and she said she started out the very, very bottom. She was an associate. Now she's like the regional district manager. She runs all of these chains in New York City. Like, she started at the very bottom of that business, and she's very happy with what she does. She loves working with people. So that's like, for her, it's the perfect thing. She doesn't really care for it.
Because listen, that also is a thing too. Like, I was watching Dana Chanel's channel, and she was saying that too. She was like, no, listen, if you're not one that you feel like you could be an entrepreneur or the owner of a company, that doesn't mean that you still can't be a leader, as far as like you can be the CFO of that company or whatever it is, that doesn't mean anything. That might not be your thing.
Right. And even on a smaller scale, like Dana Chanel was talking about, but even like how my aunt, she's very content. She's the boss of herself. She's happy, good. But even I have a cousin, and he's very content at his job. He lives in a small town. He's very content in his job. He don't really care to move up or move down. And that's okay too. But I feel like you got to be honest with yourself. What you want. If you're happy doing that, I'm happy for you. Keep doing that. Right. But you, Dialissa, are not happy. She's always miserable at her job. You're always tired. I never met somebody who's so tired. And I'm not even trying to say that it's fake.
No, I'm saying I'm tired sometimes. I legit just be saying it. I feel like I can't stop.
But sometimes I think it's because it's not maybe physical, but it's like you're mentally tired. Yeah. So I get why you say it. I'm not trying to say not to say it. I get it even. Because I've been there before, but I think it's
I'm like very expressive too.
You gotta be honest with yourself, and then change whatever needs to be changed. Like, even if it's like just this company isn't it, and you go to a different company and you love it and you work your way up that ladder, or maybe they treat their teachers way better and so you don't even want to move, you love it being a teacher. That's cool too, because what would the world be without teachers? We need somebody
has to work the job,
there's people out there, and that's fine. It's not like nothing wrong with that
at all,
but it's just because as long as they're happy doing that, then do it. But I feel like for you, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's that you need to do your own thing. I don't know if it's that you need to move from this company. What else? Maybe you need to do something.
I just need to change.
Some type of change.
I need to change. I feel like sometimes, even if it's the same friggin' position at a different branch, even. Because
there you
at
go.
the end of the day, sometimes it's just like people, take advantage. They know you. They know your buttons. They know how to work.
Yo, your job be taking real advantage.
Oh, my God. You can't even get a break. You can't even take a mental day. And I mean, this is so funny because I've not only just worked for this company at this childcare center. I've worked for this company and in different locations.
Right.
And there was quite a difference. Like, I remember being at my first location, and it was like a dream. I loved my my co-workers, my co-teachers. I just loved my boss. They were very understanding when it was time for me to move, and whatever I had to do, they were right with me. Even, it's so funny because even when I got to this center, me and my boss, both Capricorns, but even when she was there, she had her little ways about her, and she had a little bit of trickery with her. But I will say, I did get along with her very well too. But then she's gone now too. She's left. And she was gonna leave the company, I think, altogether. But she decided to do something else within the company. It's a little less strenuous, and it's just been such a freaking. It's such a decline. I was going to try to say something else. It has been such a decline since she's left. And I just feel like, regardless of what's going on there, I just feel like my time has come.
You need to change.
I need a change. But I've just been there. This is the longest I've ever been at a job. And everybody thinks it's so wacky because they're like, oh, you don't ever do this. What is wrong with you? What's going on? I just don't know. I think I've just been doing it so long that I don't know any better now. I forgot who I was before. Like, I forgot how I used to do that. I forgot how that works, I just got so complacent, and like I said, they'll tell you all kinds of stuff. Tell you all kinds of stuff. Oh, there's these words that they use, like, being a leader. And, you want to, it's like the parent, who's like, do this and do that. And you feel like you're letting them down. But, like, at the end of the day, I can't live for you. Because anything happens, I always used to say that. I always try, subconsciously, what you need to do. I just remember telling them, like, yo, if anything has happened to me and I'm taking this long ass ride to work and something happens, God forbid, knock on wood, y'all are just going to send my parents or family, or maybe you might send them a bouquet of flowers and say you're sorry, and you're going to find somebody else to fill that position.
The same day.
The same fucking day, because guess what? Life still has to go on.
Yeah, they got a business to run.
They have a business to run, and I respect that shit at the end of the day, but I can't expect anybody else to respect me. I can't expect to have anybody pay me what I'm worth. I'm the only one that can fight for that, period.
Yep.
And
there's also, James was like one of the first person to put a term to it, but it's a thing called implicit cost, and it's like the cost of your time versus explicit cost, like the cost of gas, or those types of things, like maintenance on your car. What that's a more of explicit cost. But implicit cost is more of like your time, your mental health, and these are things that your job can't even begin to pay you for. And then it's like how you said, they won't even give you a day to get it together for yourself. Really? And again, it might not be the company. It might be just you need to go to a different location. But is that what you need? Is that going to be it for you?
At the point where you're like, how can I say it? How do I say it? Imposing on your own morals, basically. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. As if I was a parent, I would want my child's teacher to get what they need. And if they are asking for a mental health day or, to get themselves together and you're not giving it to them and my child has to be in their care all day, no, me and you have a problem because, and I have to think of it like that, like why would you want to work for a company like that anyway? Right. Because then you hear these things on the news and people who don't even know shit about childcare or have never been in that situation, no one can say anything, even as a parent, whoever. If you're not a teacher, you would not know. We have to be honest here. And I have to be honest and say that before he's like, man, you hear some shit on the news. You're like, yo, man, that's crazy. What's wrong with these teachers? Why would you have a children? Some cases it's like, nigga, you shouldn't have been working with kids, period. But then in some cases I wonder, like, maybe they really didn't mean, the news making it look more, like you hear that's how the media works or whatever to make it shit look worse. Or just in general, shit just looks bad. But, like, we're not going back to asking, oh, damn, what was that woman going through? Like, I know it's a child, and we definitely have to think about the child first, but I automatically think, like, damn, what was going on? Like, was she, like, overworked or something? What was going on? Because that's crazy. Certain things that were happening, like, what made her do that? You chose to work with children. In most cases, you hear any teacher say that they work with kids, why they work with kids because they love them, So, is it like, damn, were you just like stressed out and, because that field is very high demand. Like, I'm like a lot of fields, yes. But this field, you work with people's children. Like, there is no room for your shit. Like, you can't come in that door with stress. That's not gonna work.
That's a very interesting perspective. I never thought about it, like, from the teacher perspective. Because I've seen stuff like that on the news. Like, oh, the teacher slapped his kid. It's like,
or like they drag up the child or
did something.
Dig the child. And like, we've seen lots of stuff or whatever. And it's just like, me as a teacher, I feel bad because, like, things have happened even in our own circle where, things have happened that were questionable about, to children that we know. And I always would be quiet because, not that I agree with it. I don't agree with anything that happens to a child that's inappropriate in any case. But I am always playing devil advocate when it comes to that because it's like, what happened? Right. What happened? That is,
Oh, well, listen, there's always three sides to every story. One side, the other person's side, and then the truth.
Yeah, but back on to what we were talking about. I just feel like I just need to overcome the fear of just the unknown, not knowing, like, what's going to happen, just, like, feeling like, oh, my God, I'm going to lose out on so much, really focus on more of the positive and what I will gain. It's just very hard because you can talk all day about shit, but, like, to take that initial step, I mean, that's really all it is. But it's just so scary.
I mean, do you really feel like you want to start your own business? Or do you feel like it's just this job is driving you to feel like that? And you want to...
I don't think I can work for anybody at this point. Like, I can, yes. But do I want to? No.
You don't want to. So
I feel like I'm at the point where what you have to understand too is when you're in childcare, like, they're not giving you a book and saying, oh, this is your lesson plan. That would be different. Oh, here's your lesson plan. Go through, this is what you'll do. I am doing everything. Really. I'm implementing your rules, but really and truly, I'm doing the work. So if I'm doing that, why not just do it? Even if you could hire a fucking director if you want and whatever, and still own your shit. Like, maybe you say, oh, I don't have the money, whatever, but money will come. I just feel like in my field, it doesn't, like, yeah, I can go work maybe for the time being for my own mind's sake. Yeah, go work maybe somewhere else.
Do you think you would want to be a director at, like, another company, or even at your company but a different location, whatever, outside of your job? Would you be a director at another company?
Because I feel like at this point I just have my own ideals, and I just don't want to be bothered with anybody else's ideals unless it's like state. Okay, I understand I have to deal with state shit and whatever, but I'm tired of people telling me what I should do and your ass works in a fucking office and you don't know shit about kids. Your rules. Take those rules and shove it up your ass. I can figure my own shit out. Is how I feel. Some things are okay.
So it's definitely that you don't want to be in another position. It's that you just want your own business. So it is more it's strictly the fear.
Yeah. And also I think what it is also trying to figure it out. Because, yeah, you are kind of right. I feel like I'm also trying to figure out what is best for my life. Because sometimes you start a business and it's not really about your life. Unless I hire someone, of course, and they're handling it. But see, my struggle is that I do want to be hands-on. I want to be hands-on.
I see what you're about to say.
But will that mean I'm still working as hard or even harder? Which isn't the worst because it'll be mine. But I also have to think about my little ones that I want to have eventually. I want to have good work-life balance.
Is that going to be enough?
You know? So then I'm not going to lie. I've played around with different things. You don't necessarily just have to own a center. There are a lot of things that you can do with children, you know? So
I mean, you are you're very good and passionate about other things besides children as well.
No, that's true.
So maybe if you have your own children, whenever you have your own children, and then you decide, you know what? This is all the childcare I need. I now want to do makeup. I mean,
that's an option.
You know, it could very well be that is what you actually need. That could be the fulfillment that you need to you know, raise children. Because that's essentially kind of what your job is, right? Like, you're raising other people's children and helping them and guiding them. You might enjoy that and get the same fulfillment at home with your own kids.
No, that's true. Guess time will tell. In the meantime, in between time, I need to figure this shit out.
Yeah, I mean...
But just in general, the whole premise of this is that we need to get beyond this fear.
Yeah. It's like how we started this podcast.
No, and this shit started like butter. I'm not going to lie.
Even our first episode, we talked about it. Like, shut up and do it. We kept talking about it. Just fucking do the shit. Shut up and do it.
This was the first thing that I think I've done like that in a long time. Yeah.
And you did, and even then, dudes felt like she was jumping out of a 10-foot window. Like,
no, I'm
like, oh, what is she doing? Like, get it moving.
It's so crazy because this shit comes so natural. I mean, it is very comforting because this is like my best friend's sister. Okay? So,
and this is like,
this is what we do anyway.
Yeah, this is like legit. And it's like, because you work so hard, this is when we get the chit chat. Like, it's fun.
It's so fun. I look forward to my episode.
Yeah. I do look forward to recording too. Like, yeah, I think you gotta remember. Maybe you could use this as an example. You enjoy doing this.
I do.
So maybe that's something that you could think like, yo, I really enjoy it. Once I start, maybe that'll be something else. I just gotta. What was you saying about like fear could be face everything and rise, or forget everything and run?
Yeah, forget everything and run, or face everything and rise.
Yeah, you got to figure out which one you want it to be.
No, right, because when I was listening to the YouTube video earlier, they were talking about like how we have to accept challenge and to know that it's good for, you know, our own development and to learn about our highest self, like, you know, what that means. And just to live a fully charged life.
Yeah. You gotta figure out what that is for you, though. I think that's the main point.
Change is very hard for me. But I have to realize, you know, change is a game. It's okay. This is a whole big game.
Every time you've made a change,
Game of Thrones.
Every time you've made a change, you always like it. Remember when you moved to DC?
Word, that's true. Oh my God.
And then it ended up being like, dude, I love DC.
Yo, right now I still like be saying, man, I miss those DC days. Like, I literally had an outer body experience moving to DC. That's a whole different story. Oh my God.
You were terrified.
But I did it though.
You did it. And look at how that worked out. You was terrified to leave retail and start another job. And now look at you. You found your passion working with children.
Terrified to apply to college.
You be terrified, just terrified. And then every time, it always works out.
Like, oh my God, it worked. No, but that just goes to show you, like, when I have my own children, like, I have to make sure that they don't have this fear. You know? Yeah. I don't want them to have this fear because it is a fucking monkey on your back to feel this fearful of everything, you know, just questioning all the time. I'm very like, I gotta know the answers before I just jump my ass into things, you know. But I mean, sometimes you just gotta figure that shit out on the way. It was so funny because I was telling you about that new business venture that I wanted to get into.
Mm-hmm.
And my ex-coworker, she doesn't work with me anymore. But she reminded me of it. And it's like, constantly being reminded, like, okay, people, they wondering, like, all right.
I was asking about it too, like, girl.
Just gotta figure that shit out. So, yeah, we just gotta stop being so fearful, Be more fearless.
Yeah.
And just get shit done.
I mean, I will say I do thank my parents for that. I'm very grateful that my father, he led by example, and my mother, she did too.
Plant those seeds.
My mother would tell me all the time how she was like, yeah, when you were a kid, I don't know how that was, like a toddler, I guess. And she'd be like, yeah, my boss would try to tell me, she worked for the state, and she was like, he would try to tell me that I couldn't be late, and I told him, no, my daughter wants to smell the flowers. She likes to walk slow. I'm not gonna rush her. And he said to her, do you know who you're talking to? She said, I don't care who you think you are. I'm not rushing my daughter. So I get here. When I get here, be happy that I came here. And my mother is like 5'2", not scared of nothing except a mouse. She don't like that.
Oh God, and the beach. Whatever.
Yeah. But even that, she's like, she decided she want to take swim lessons. Like she's not scared of nothing. And my father is kind of like, I'm gonna do it, fuck it. So, or he was like, fuck it kind of person. So I do think that it matters, if you
plant those.
Don't plant those seeds young.
Be careful what seeds you're planting.
Mm-hmm.
Because it really sticks, as you can see, for a person that's coming that's been well into adulthood.
No, for real. We 31 years old.
Yeah, and to feel
that's
like
crazy.
Like I'm so fearful of a lot of things. Like you have to be very careful.
Remember when we took you on?
My God, roller coasters.
Me and James took her on a roller coaster. Lisa was traumatized.
God, we're gonna have to post that picture. Jesus Christ.
Talk about facing your fears, though. You did real good. I was shocked.
Ask her if I get on that shit again. I don't know.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
I had to wait till another birthday, but I can get you on there.
Let me go find. I'm gonna have to be busy that birthday. Or like, no, for you just make sure you. Well, this wasn't about kids, but definitely, make sure you planting the right seeds and not the wrong seeds in your kids' head. You have to understand that they're watching, or anybody.
Children, people are watching.
Peers, whoever. It could be someone of the same age. Like,
look at how we be on Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah,
and
we gotta help each other.
Looking at people who is the same age or older. Yeah, so
people who have lived and done shit and have experienced things and. Yet again, they're giving you this shit for free, or they can charge you for it, but it's there for you to have and to know.
And we're not their kids, so people watching you. No, people are always watching you. So you just gotta set those right examples.
BB Judy too.
You just gotta set the right ones, and I think that you gotta remember that too, like for yourself.
Yeah, come on, new businesses come 2020. All 2020?
No, 2019. She gonna finish this year. She gonna finish the year strong. They used to talk about this big talk. 2020. God. No, this 2019. We gonna do it now.
All right. I keep forgetting we still got half.
Yeah, exactly. You got a lot of time.
You're right. Let me not be one of them people. Oh God.
All right, y'all. Listen. Face everything and rise, y'all.
Please, Lord. Please, let's come together and do it. Mm-hmm.
We got this.
We can't let these damn millennials, these what are they? Because they doing better than...
We are millennials. What are you talking about?
Well, okay, the younger ones. They coming out here. They making money. They on YouTube.
Playing with toys. Making
what in the hell?
Yo.
Even these little teenagers, though.
Yeah.
Fast and grown. They got a whole life, boyfriend and girlfriends and living together and they YouTubing. There's too much stuff out here to do.
It's way too much. But share some of y'all fears. Well, it don't have to necessarily be business, but if y'all have businesses that you started, you were scared, let us know how y'all overcame it. And comment.
Yeah, we gotta get up. Let me shut up.
And let us know what y'all did. And if it wasn't business, I was about to say, if it wasn't business, any other fears that you had, how y'all overcame that shit. Because it is hard.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It ain't easy.
Fear is not real. Let's keep that in mind. Fear is not real.
Lisa's talking to herself again, y'all.
Fear is not real. You just gotta chant that shit. Believe it.
Yeah. All right. Brittany out.
Dialissa out.